we're just giving it a minute. Cool. Right, we're going to let it populate. What's happening, team? Hope we're all good. Leave me an emoji in the comments just to let me know how your day's going. If you can hear me, you can see me. And we will get started in about 60 seconds. As I said, I'm just going to let it populate. If you're watching this on replay, please give me a hashtag replay just so I know how many people watch the replay. Much appreciated. Thank you, Debs. We've got a emoji now. Cool. So we've got 4 on Instagram. Just letting Facebook populate a little. On YouTube, watching this on YouTube, please give me a thumbs up. My YouTube channel seems to be taking off, getting a bit more interaction. So thank you guys who have subscribed to my channel. If you haven't, it's Type 1 Tom. Go over there, fucking subscribe. Cool. Right. We will get going in about 30 seconds. Sweet. Right. So we'll hit record, make sure all that's working. Right. I think we should be golden. Mega. Sorted. Sweet. Cool. Right. We're going to go in 3, 2, 1. Yes, gang, what's happening? Welcome back to another episode of the Type 1 Movement Podcast. And in this episode, I'm going to be talking about how to have great blood glucose control while still having a life. This is going to be a good one. Please get a pen and paper, take some notes, and everything that I share with you guys is the shit that I've been through, that clients have been through, and how I broke myself through it, and how I break my clients through as well. So there's going to be a lot of gold in this. Before we get into it, though, please leave me a rating and a review on the podcast app. As I said in the last one, my rating's like 4.6 or something, and it's giving me OCD fucking hellfire. I want to get back up to 5, so I'd be very, very grateful if you could go and do that. Only on the podcast app that is available, though. Also, whatever device or platform you're listening to it on, please screenshot, share it on your Instagram stories, and tag me at Type1_Tom so I can reach out and say thank you very much. Okie doke. No fucking around, team. No messing around. There might be a bit of tough love on it. Well, there will be some tough love on this, and we're going to dive straight into it. How to have great blood glucose control while still having a life. Look, I'm going to open with this. I feel, and I'm open to suggestions, anyone to correct me if I'm wrong, the goal of our diabetes is to be able to live a life that we want to live, a fulfilled life, while still having great blood glucose control. Write that shit down. The goal of our diabetes is to be able to still live a life that we want to live, a fulfilled life, or do all the shit we want to do, while still having great blood glucose control and management over our diabetes. It starts to get fucked up when we feel like we're doing certain things and we're living for our diabetes. We're not just slotting our diabetes into how we want to live. And I know a lot of you guys are going to be able to relate to this because I was like this at one point as well. And a lot of my clients have been in the past as well. So I will say that again, the goal of our diabetes is to be able to live a fulfilled life, a life that we love, while still having great control over our diabetes. Now, this episode, like I say, is going to be a lot of gold in this, but just give me a head nod if you're listening to this on the podcast, or if you're watching this on the live, give me a blue heart in the comments below. But who here has had good control or has good control, but feels like you feel restricted on certain life events? You feel restricted. You feel like your diabetes control is good, but you feel restricted in certain areas of your life. Who here feels like they miss out on certain things because of their diabetes? You might miss out on social events, drinks out. Dates is one that I've heard before. I don't really want to go on a date because I'm worried about like my diabetes and stuff. And this is no way to live, right? That is no way to live at all. Yeah. And I always say this. Yeah. Now, look, I'll tell you a little story. In the past, going back around when I was first diagnosed, I started to get great control, but there was a few things that I was doing and it wasn't leading me to a fulfilled life, right? And I spoke to so many Type 1s who do this. Yeah. So we've got the idea that we feel we've got good control, or even if you've not got good control, but you feel like your diabetes is going to restrict you so much in life, you're going to get a lot from this. Yeah. So like I say, there was a time in the past when I was doing things that I thought I had to be doing because it helped me have better blood glucose control. It helped me take less insulin, which I'm going to get onto shortly. One of these, and I see this a lot, is over-exercising. Exercise is great. Don't get me wrong. Exercise is fucking amazing. Yeah. But there can come a point, and give me a head nod if this is you, there can come a point when you do too much exercise because you feel like if you didn't do the amount that you do, your blood glucose levels wouldn't be as good control. Yeah. There is a such thing as doing too much. When it becomes unhealthy, it becomes something that you do even when you kind of don't feel like it. And I'll tell you my story in a minute, just because you know it will have a positive impact on your diabetes. For me, years and years ago, around when I was first diagnosed, I was getting up every single morning and doing cardio every single morning because it made me more insulin sensitive. That's not healthy. I got into a mindset where I thought I had to do cardio every morning because it would increase my insulin sensitivity. I'd need less insulin, fucking brackets, which we'll get onto shortly. And it helped me increase my insulin sensitivity and control my blood glucose levels throughout the day. That's borderline getting a problem. And I'll be honest with you on that, a problem. Another thing that I've done in the past and why I'm so knowledgeable on this, and no diss to anyone who does this, but if you don't want to do this, this is another thing that I see of people feeling restricted, is eating a low carb diet when you do not want to eat a low carb diet. So you just eat low carbs because you're worried and scared about managing your glucose levels when you do eat carbs. I have been here. I understand what that's like. I work with clients with this and managed to break them through. So the things that I'm going to share with you guys in this will really help you. Yeah. So like I say, in the past, I was doing cardio every single morning. I remember going to the gym on a treadmill or going to steady jog or something because I wanted that increased insulin sensitivity. I thought that was the only way that I was going to well manage my glucose levels. I was also low carbing at a point because I was so worried. I was so worried about what carbs would do because I started to get control. Yeah. So I totally understand this. Now, I touched on something there. And I could do a full fucking podcast episode about this, but I'm going to cover it briefly here. I thought at one point, because I was exercising so much and because I was eating low carb, my insulin dosages drastically decreased. And I thought that was a good thing, but I didn't understand. I didn't understand it properly. Now, let me say this. We all need a certain amount of insulin to live. You need what your fucking body needs. It's not fucking top trumps comparing it to another type. Yeah, but you take fucking 50 units and I take 10. But it's not. Look, even in a non-type 1 diabetic, their body, they just don't see the amount of insulin that they need, but their body needs a certain amount. Do you think if they could see it, non-type 1s would go around saying, yeah, well, I take 24 units throughout a 24-hour period and you need 60 units throughout a 24-hour period? No, that's a bit weird, isn't it? So why do a lot of you people do it? Why are you comparing how much insulin you need to other type 1 diabetics, thinking if you take more, it's a bad thing? It's fucking not. And I told you there was going to be some tough love in this. You need what your body fucking needs. And I understand because I was in that mindset that I'm doing loads of cardio, I'm low carbing, I'm needing less insulin. This is fucking great. It's not. You need what you need. And insulin does not cause fat gain, but I'm going to fucking leave that there. We'll get onto that on another topic. So you need the amount of insulin that you need. And I understand this because I was in that mindset once. Yeah. So, like I said, I was exercising every single morning at one point, low carbing because I thought that was the only way I could have great glucose control. And I did feel restricted. I felt like I was missing out on certain life things. And I speak to so many clients on this when they first join my program until I teach them what I'm going to tell you guys in a second and how I managed to break them free. So it could be like they're missing out on social events, they're not going on dates, you're not eating foods that you actually enjoy eating. And like I said at the start, the goal of our diabetes is to live a fulfilled life, a life that we actually fucking love while still having great glucose control. And I'm pretty sure, nod your head if you're listening to this on the podcast and watching it on the live, I'm pretty sure you can agree with that. So I want to share with you 4 things to really help you still have great blood glucose control, start to improve your blood glucose control whilst living a life that you actually enjoy and a life that you actually want to live so you don't feel controlled by this condition, because that is no way to live. And I want you to think this way. If you've not lived a fulfilled life, you've avoided things just because you were scared about what they would do to your blood glucose, and you get to the end of your life, and let's say you lay on your deathbed, you're like, fucking hell, I wish I would have done that. I wish I would have gone on that date. I wish I would have gone out for that drink. I wish I would have ate that pizza, but I didn't because I was worried about what had happened with my blood glucose levels. Fuck that. You don't want that. And I do not want that for you either. So here's the 4 things yeah, that are going to help you still have great blood glucose control while still living a life that you actually enjoy. The first one, this is a big one. The first one, you need to step into the unknown. Team, if you constantly avoid things, how the fuck do you think you're going to manage them? You need to step into the unknown. And the same goes for anything in life. The people who take the biggest risks in life will achieve the greatest results. And it's the same. Yeah. If you're sat there thinking, oh, I really want to go out for pizza or a burger, but I'm so worried to go and eat out because I might get a spike and that. And then you sit there and it starts giving you anxiety. You start procrastinating. You start trying to predict what's going to happen before you've even gone and done it. You don't know. We don't know. We're not mind readers, and they say this all the time. So this is the first tip. You need to be willing to try new shit and step into the unknown. Step into that fear, because this is the only way that you're going to break through it. You can sit there all day and worry about going out for a drink, worry about eating pizza, worry about eating certain foods, worry about breaking your daily routine, worry about not exercising for a day because you're scared of what's going to happen to your blood glucose levels. You can sit there all day worrying about that shit, or you can just go and fucking do it and step into the unknown. That's tip number one. This is a bit of a mindset thing, but a lot of the stuff with managing our diabetes comes down to mindset. Tip number two, please understand this, because I've been through this. All my best clients, all these results that my program's getting for my type 1 diabetic clients, these all go through this as well. And I want them to go through this. And I'm glad I went through this, else I wouldn't be where I'm at and being able to help teach and coach other type 1s. Second thing, accept you will still get shit wrong. Accept it. Accept that you're going to get a low. You're going to get a spike at times. When you try something new you've not done before, that you've been wanting to do for so long, but you haven't because of your diabetes, you will get shit wrong. The outcome won't always be what you wanted it to be. But this is fucking great. Why? Because it's a lesson. That's all it is. It's a lesson. And the only way you will ever learn in life and with managing your diabetes is by things not going the way that you wanted them to. Why? Because that tells you that something needs changing. It gives you a lesson. It gives you something to work from. So that's my tip number two. Accept you will get shit wrong, but this is the only way that you will learn. If everything was smooth and, speak to type ones like, I wish it was so much easier and I wish I didn't get the low or the high. And yes, I understand that at times. I wish like that. But that's not fucking how it is. And if it was like that, you wouldn't learn anything when you did encounter a problem. And I say this to my clients. I'm like, look, let's say you were so rigid, which a lot of you type ones are, in your routine, you don't break it, you've got great control. And then one time you do go and break it, yeah, and you're like, fucking hell, you're flapping because like all this podcast is about you flapping because you got a spike or a drop. That is the only way that you are going to learn. So accept you will get shit wrong at times. It happens to us all. It's happened to me. That's how I've managed to build out my program, from getting so many things wrong and learning how to get them right. So I want you to take that from this. Tip number three, take the data. Take the data. If you go out to eat at a nice restaurant, you order pizza, burger, or whatever your fucking love of food, I'm a proper foodie, but whatever your fucking food choice is that you go out, and you go and eat it, and you don't really take anything from it, and you get a spike or a drop, and then you come back there again to have it, what the fuck have you got to work from when you've not took any notes on what happened the first time? What have you got to work from when you didn't take any notes on what happened the first time? So here's a few things that I'd take. I'd take the meal or the drink that you had, providing that this is food. Yeah. So with that, we want the grams of carbs in it. We want fats. We want proteins. A big tip for you guys, if you're at a restaurant and you're struggling to find the calories and the macros that we want, go into MyFitnessPal, search for the food that you're getting and find something as close as possible to it. Won't be the exact same, but it's going to get you much closer than you trying to fucking throw numbers around and guesstimate if you're not that good at carb counting or counting fats and proteins yet. So use MyFitnessPal, open it up, stick the meal in. It's going to get you in the ballpark. That's the first thing. You want to take your blood glucose levels before you ate the meal, after, ideally 2 hours after, and probably 3 or 4 hours after if it's high in fat. Yeah. You want to take notes of the insulin that you gave, the time of day, and you need to be willing to use all this data. Data is so fucking valuable and so powerful. You need to be willing to use it all the next time you go and have that meal, or you go and have that drink, or you do that event that you've done that you've really wanted to do. You need to use it. And here's the fourth thing is repetition. This is the fourth thing, and how you're going to have great blood glucose control while still having a life and living a life that you love living whilst managing your diabetes is repetition. If you do something wrong, and like I've said through this, you're going to get shit wrong. If you just do it once, shit doesn't go your way, so you don't do it again, how the fuck are you going to learn? How are you going to learn? They say like a master or a so-called professional at something isn't special. They've just done things and got shit wrong a lot of times and learned how to get it right. And that's through repetition. That's through repetition. Let's say, I know I keep using going out eating as an example, but you go out to a nice restaurant, you eat, you get a high or a low, doesn't go your way, so you don't go back there again. Well, how are you ever going to manage that if you don't put the reps in and go through that again? With each repetition, each time doing something, you're going to get more data, you're going to get more knowledge, it's more lessons, and you're going to get better and better and better at it till eventually you'll fucking nail it. And that will take time. I always do use the analogy of working out, yeah, doing a squat. If you remember, give me a head nod on this, you're listening to this on the podcast or watching this on the live. If you work out, do you remember the first time that you tried to do a squat or the first time you tried to do a push up? It probably looked fucking shit. I know mine did, but I've done hundreds, if not thousands of them now, and I'm pretty fucking good at squatting. I only got to this point from repetition. It's the same with trying different things, with managing your blood glucose levels. It's repetition. It's repetition. And I will throw a bonus tip in here now. So I will recap. Number one, we've got to step into the unknown. Stop trying to predict certain outcomes. Go and step into that fear. Step into the unknown. Get out your own fucking way, because that's the only way that you're going to learn stuff. Number two, accept that you're going to get things wrong at times. That is just a lesson. Doesn't mean you're a bad diabetic. Doesn't mean you're a bad person. Just a lesson. I've been there. All my clients go through it. We all go through it. Just a lesson. Three, take the data. Take the data so you know when you come to this scenario, this food, this drink, next time, what happened last time, and use that. Apply that knowledge, that baseline knowledge you now have. Number four is you're only going to get better at shit through repetition. Here's the bonus point, and this is more around food. If you're going out eating a high-fat meal, yeah, which I know I love burgers and pizzas, that's why I keep saying them on this, and chips when I go out to eat. That's the sort of shit that I tend to have. Know that it's going to be high in fat, it's going to be high in carbs, probably moderate protein. You're going to have to do a split bolus if you're on pens or an extended bolus if you're on a pump. That's the biggest tip that I can give you, because the majority of the time when we go out to eat, we have higher fat meals. The chefs make these things with lots of oils, with lots of things to make them taste good, so we keep going back. And they do that from the majority of the time making it higher in fat with what they cook it in or the additives that they add into it. Yeah. So understand that for us as type 1s, if you're on pens, you're going to need to split your bolus. And if you're on a pump, you're going to need to put an extended bolus on. Yeah. That's all I'm going to say on that. Team, I'm just going to go over these points again so you get them into your head, because I want you to have the best life possible, to live the best, most fulfilled life while still having great glucose control. I don't want you to feel restricted. Don't want you to be like me and think you need to exercise every single morning to increase your insulin sensitivity, or you feel you need to eat a certain way when you don't want to just for your diabetes. That is your diabetes taking charge of your fucking life, and we do not want that. So my first tip is be willing to step into the unknown. Sort your mindset out and step into that fear and step into the unknown and try new shit, else you'll never break through it. Number two, accept you're going to get stuff wrong. Just see this not as you being a bad person or a bad diabetic. It's just, hey, what is this teaching me? And what can I implement for next time? Tip number three, make sure you're taking the data. There's so many apps out there now that you can use to put your insulin in, your food in. You're going to know what time of day. Just take that, because that's your base to work from for next time. Number four is repetition. You will only get better at something the more that you fucking do it. I cannot stress that enough, team. And my bonus tip is if you are eating out, chances are it's going to be high in fat, high in carbs, maybe moderate, high in protein, maybe a lot of food. You're going to need a split if you're on pens and extend the bolus if you are on a pump. Team, that is it. If you got value from this episode, please leave me a rating and a review on the podcast app. Sort my anxiety out and my OCD and get me away and up to 5 stars, please. And also, like I said at the start, feel free to give it a screenshot, whatever device or platform you're listening to it on, and share it on your Instagram stories and tag me at type1_Tom. Thank you very, very much for listening to this today, team. Like I say, I hope you got value from it, and I hope it's going to help you live a life that you actually love and not feel so restricted through being a type 1, because it doesn't need to be that way. It doesn't feel that way for me, and it doesn't feel that way for my clients. And I want you to have that as well. Team, until the next episode, thank you. Have the best day ever. Peace. Gang, right. We'll go for any questions. If anyone does have any questions, please stick them in the comments. I'm going to have a quick look through Facebook, see if we've got anything. Nope. Sweet. I'm going to have a quick look through Instagram. What's happening, team? Hope you're all good. Thank you for you guys sticking comments and emojis in. Appreciate you. My problem is a strength train and they spike. Same as me. When I go and lift weights, sorry, I'm just around there. Bit of value for you guys now. When I go and lift weights, anything quite intense like that, I get a spike. So what I personally started doing is years and years ago when I found this out, is I go in with a very small bolus on board. For me, normally, depending on what I'm coming into the strength workout at, a unit, depending on what level I'm coming in at. But I always say to my clients, if you do get a spike from a workout, then go in with a very, very small bolus on board and then see if that helps it. For me, it does. And it's quite a normal thing through strength or anything intense because it's stress up on your body. It's like your adrenaline's going and it makes your liver kick out, do like a glucose dump. So it's quite a common thing that. Fred, insulin does not make you. Yes, what you say. Yes, it does not. I might do a full podcast episode on insulin and not causing fat gain. Thanks, Tammy. Appreciate you. The energy you give off with your enthusiasm as well is great info. Tips are incredible, Tom. Thank you. Thank you very much, buddy. Thank you. I really appreciate that comment. Thanks, Debs. Cheers, self, and some fire from Fred. Is right, team. Thank you very much. I'm going to shoot off, get some food, and give Steve his dinner because he's currently in his crate whilst I was delivering some value to you guys. Hope you got a lot of value from that. Thank you very much for watching. Until the next live, have a great day. Have a great evening wherever you are in the world. Peace.